I already know today's going to be a bit unhinged. Hello, I'm Kenny JD, content creator, nosy bitch, as well as indie musician.
What's up, man? It's Sean Pecos, the ultimate dot connector.
And welcome to Connect the Dots.
Connect the Dots is an incredibly special set of conversations where we discuss not only what happens on the court, in the booth, or behind the scenes, but also take an unfiltered look at stardom and culture.
You can't learn funny in school, you can learn comedy. I know plenty of people went to school to get a background.
We get to know who people are, what drives them, inspires them, motivates them, makes them into fully fleshed out people. A real humanistic look at those you know and love.
If I wasn't a comedian, I'd be a professional sugar daddy.
Aficionado.
So here's the story. Hey, that's how we got it edited out.
Shout outs to our partners C4 Smart Energy and PrizePicks. Love you all.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Kenny's Corner, where today we're going to reflect back on our interview with CC Sabathia.
Pretty cool interview, right?
Yeah, it was one of the first ones we filmed here at Rally.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting to talk to someone who started off his professional sports career so young, because that was the thing that stuck out for me the most, because the idea that you're like fresh out of high school, you're like 18, 19 years old, and they're like throwing buckets of money and influence and people, and it's like, how do you digest that as a rising star? And it was really interesting to see his reflections on it now that he has kids, now that, you know, he's retired. So yeah, it was really inspiring.
I think one of the cool things that we did too, when we were able to talk to CC, remember at that time Shohei Ohtani hadn't redone his contract, and he got picked up by the Dodgers, and I think that was cool that CC forecasted that one of the teams that would probably be in the league were the Dodgers, so that was pretty cool too, right? To actually have that footage and stuff like that. So we love that.
So I always love to hear people from a professional standpoint, from a life standpoint, and it was a really cool conversation, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. Hello. To a great start. I am your co-host, Kenny JD, content creator, I guess indie musician, and all-around nosy bitch who just likes to know why people are the way they are and how they got where they are.
I love Kenny. I'm Sean Pecos. I'm co-host, Connecting the Dots. Sorry for the inappropriate behavior before, but you know I love Kenny.
And throughout.
And throughout. It's gonna get crazy. Me and Kenny gonna get crazy. Should we introduce our first guest?
Yeah, absolutely.
My guy, man, CC Sabathia, 3,000 strikeouts. What else did you do, C?
Man.
Huh?
Lived a life.
Yeah.
Won a World Series.
Yeah.
It's my brother. It's kind of weird, man. Kind of like doing this with you.
Like an interview,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I feel stupid. I forgot about everything you accomplished in 10 seconds. I know you did this too for a while for a living, as a sort of a retirement job. So, what, you got some pointers for us, man? What should we do, man?
Man, just be yourselves. You know what I mean? I think that's what, people love, hearing from people and just the regular conversations that they have. I feel like podcasts let you into the world of people that you normally wouldn't get to know or understand their stories.
Yeah, so I guess it's just going to have to be like us when we just sit back somewhere talking shit. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What's up, Kenny?
So one of the things that I was very curious about, being that this is our first episode and kind of connecting the dots, making sense of the title, is like, we're excited to bring people from completely different walks of life. I'm in the internet space. Pecos is in all kinds of spaces, but particularly was in the music space. And then you are in sports, or we're in sports, and how all of those things have the central focus of focus, like how we're able to do interesting and great things in uncommon ways. So I'm excited for all of us to like come together and share the differences and similarities in that. But first, I guess we could learn more about your story, like how you started in the league, what brought you there, what your motivations were, stuff like that.
So I got drafted out of high school. I was 17. Got drafted in the first round by then the Cleveland Indians, now Cleveland Guardians. Spent a year and a half in the minor leagues, and I was in the big leagues. I was I was the youngest player in the big leagues at the time when I first came up. And
how old exactly were you?
I was 19. The following season when I actually pitched, I had just turned 20, and it was fun. You know what I mean? I had some good experience, some bad experience. I went through a lot of different things, but I think the biggest thing for me coming up so young is just having the vets that I had, around me, whether it was Ellis Burks or Matt Lawton or Ricky Gutierrez, even guys like, Gary Sheffield, Darryl Strawberry. These guys were still in the league when I first came up and were able to help me transition from a kid, really, high school kid, to a professional. It's something that you have to learn how to do, and it took me a while. It took me a minute. I was very immature, didn't really understand the magnitude of what I was getting myself into. But luckily, like I said, I had those guys around, and I think that's something that's kind of missing in the league now is vets. I feel like a lot of the league is just kids raising kids right now, where the oldest guy most of the time on the team, have 6 or 7 years in, and when I first came up, it was guys with 15, 20 years in the big leagues.
We just talked about that. We were watching football the other day at Strange Crib, right? And we were talking about how, there's no real hierarchy anymore. You feel like, where are those guys who could be in the clubhouse to be like the role model, right? And it's just like, we feel like that a lot of that's just going on around culturally, right? Where the kids are just running wild in the street now and all different type of sports. There's no real person to help these kids.
No, and I feel like that's why you get a lot of these kids, whoever it is, in every sport, trying to build brands before, they can really build what they've built on the field. I feel like for me, the way I built my brand is by being good on the field. Make the main thing the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you're good at what you're good at, then you'll be famous enough to do whatever you want to do off the field.
Finish your breakfast like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it was always, for me, I mean, you know me, I was always just completely focused on trying to win. It wasn't even focused on my career or what I was trying to accomplish or, any 3,000 strikeouts or any of that stuff.
It wasn't like individual.
It was literally trying to win the World Series. That was it, and that was all I was focused on. And
you owe me a ring too for that, because you said if you won the World Series, you're gonna give me the ring. You know what I'm saying, Skip?
But I feel like that helped build my brand. You know what I mean? And I feel like after retirement now, I'm able to do a lot of different things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But because I handle everything I need to handle on the field.
Yeah. I think the one thing I know about spending time with C is he's really on that. He's a professional when it comes to focusing on one thing, knocking that out, but then sort of doing everything on the side that comes with it. I think that's a real thing. Yeah.
Would you say that you think that, not to put words in your mouth or to start any chaos, would you think that you're seeing a lack of passion from people who are in the game now?
No, I don't think it's a lack of passion. I think these kids are very passionate and way more skilled than we ever were. Because really? they focus only on one sport. You got basketball players that start playing basketball when they're 4 or 5 years old, and that's the only thing they do. So, no, I just feel like it's more access to everything now. I feel like in my era, we grew up, I didn't know what the fuck Michael Jordan was doing. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what he was doing. People know what the fuck Ja Morant and LeBron are doing every fucking minute.
Every minute,
and people, kids see that and want to be that.
Right.
And you mean outside of the court?
Outside of the court. You can see what guys are doing. Yeah, I had no idea what Michael Jordan was doing when he was off the court. I could only see him on the court playing basketball or maybe with Ahmad Rashad on fucking, you know what I mean? Whatever they had inside the NBA. So now you have so much access to these guys that it makes kids want to be that instead of what the player actually is.
Being a winner or achieving the team goal, which is to be a champion.
For me, it was all just seeing Michael Jordan dunk and shoot and win.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I would have known he was playing golf and doing all this other shit, I probably would have been into that too, you know?
Yeah.
So it changes your perspective when you have a lot of access to these guys.
You always felt like that from the beginning, or when you went to the Yankees and then spent some time with some of the other superstars like Jeter or people like that, or Andy Pettitte, who I know you really love?
No, I always felt like that from the beginning because I had no idea I was coming to New York. I never wanted to play for the Yankees. So no, I didn't. I like did everything I could not to fucking come here. Everything. I was trying everything I could. But
cold weather, huh?
So for me, it was like I knew I had to make my mark on the field.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because I'm in this small market. I'm in Cleveland. I went to Milwaukee. Like I said, I was planning on going to the West Coast. Yeah. So I knew that I had to be really great at my craft to be able to be famous off the field, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because it's like no matter where you go, you have to leave your mark regardless.
Yeah, and the best way to leave your mark is being
good
great
at
what you do.
Yeah. Because I think what I find very interesting, like you were talking about how young you were being thrown into a world like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, when I was like 18, 19, I wasn't a fucking adult. Like, I'm theoretically adult. And I was in many ways still very coddled by like the college infrastructure. So being thrown into, this fast-paced life of professional sports, money, attention, fame. Like, I just couldn't imagine.
No, it's a tough thing,
that.
especially, like I said, I was 17 years old, being from the hood, being from the inner city. It was like I hit the lottery, like I'm 17, I get drafted and I get $1.3 million just dropped in my lap. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have any financial,
problems,
not problems. I don't have any financial like literacy. We don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So me and my mom were literally learning together how to manage all of this, whether it was from family, outside influences, all this different stuff.
Who do you trust?
Yeah,
in that
exactly. Like it was extremely hard to figure all of that stuff out. My mom is the GOAT. She was the rock. Like we didn't sign with an agent. She did my deal out of high school on her own because she didn't trust nobody. She was like, fuck all these guys. Yeah. Like I can look in Baseball America and fucking figure out what your number should be.
Rich.
Yeah, so she really kind of like took the bull by the horns and was like,
crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, she was like, I'm gonna be in control of this as much as I can at the beginning, so
until they got to a certain level.
Yeah, but like when I first left home, I mean, I'm used to playing at high school, so I go home in my uniform. Like my mom watches my clothes after the game. Like now I'm a professional, I got to figure out, shower shoes, taking a shower after the game. Like I didn't even know how to like wash clothes on my own when I left home.
Right.
So it was like It was like I was going to Walmart every 3 days and buying socks and drawers and shit. Like it was crazy. So
like an old school Cleveland drug dealer.
It was fucked up.
That's what drug dealers do.
So I was literally trying to figure all of that stuff out as a teenager. So
That's
I mean, my story, I made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of different things that, you probably shouldn't do, but, I'm here and I'm better for it.
You know what's crazy? Like, it's funny because this is weird for me because we do spend a lot of time together. Like, one of my closest friends and our families are tight. And it's probably one of the reasons why I even made the transition from music into sports. And the crazy thing is because at one time I bought this car and he got in the car and he started making fun of it, right? And I'm like, yo, don't do that because you drive a Rolls Royce. Like, he's not an asshole. But now that I think about it, he's been driving a fucking Rolls Royce since he was like 19 years old. So that's all
he
this
doesn't
big
know
ass
another life.
No, it's crazy. That's what I always tell him. Yeah, it's crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And he's 41 now?
43.
43.
Yeah.
And he's been driving fucking Rolls Royces since he's 19.
Yeah.
But he's not.
I'm like the exact opposite. I'm the exact opposite. I made more money and just didn't want a new car.
Really?
I'm from Detroit.
My car is from 2004.
Oh.
And if it's still moving, I'm still driving it.
That's my kids.
Bothered.
That's my oldest. My older two are like really frugal. They're like, they don't spend any money. My oldest son dresses like Adam Sandler every day. Like he's just like fucking like, but my younger two were born when I got this Yankee contract. And they're fucking, Cy and Carter are expensive as hell. Like everything they have is fucking high end, like very high end. So it's the contrast in between the two the two contracts.
They're great kids.
I don't know, the Detroit
they're all great kids.
The Detroit in me just like I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like my friend got in my car and she was like, "This is my biggest gripe with you." I need you to do something about this. This is well,
what
terrible.
kind of car is it?
It's a Dodge Durango.
Oh, I mean, well,
Yeah,
it's
rusting on
sturdy,
the side.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rusting on the side, like 400 million miles.
I thought you
on
had like a 04 Rolls Royce.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say like an
It's my
Accord
dad's
or
car.
something. Like, nah, you got to get out the Honda.
I just
But
slow.
the Durango
I
is
just
good.
like gently stole it from my dad, just slowly over time. I'm like, can I borrow it? And then just never brought it back for the last like 3 years. So that's where I'm at.
So hanging with Peck, CC, Tiafo, and all of these sports legends has really made me get into PrizePicks, the official daily fantasy sponsor of Connect the Dots. PrizePicks is so simple, and to be honest, really means more than traditional sports for me. It's the esports I absolutely love. As y'all know, I'm a bit of a gamer. So the fact that I can make selections on Call of Duty is pretty awesome. It makes watching the matches so much better. And I'm really starting to get into the teams. I'm excited for us to have some WNBA legends, Caitlin, Sabrina. Hopefully you're listening so I can make my selection on those games and Peck can take me courtside, perhaps. As a Michigan girl, I even got my friends into making selections on NBA games. But the Pistons, yeah. PrizePicks for me is about simplicity between the ability to use Apple Pay and easily deposit, or the promotions like Taco Tuesday. I have been having so much fun bouncing my selections off Peck. Hit the description for the official link to use code CTD for a first deposit match up to $100.
Speaking of the kids, how's Lil C doing, man? Well, I can't call him Lil C no more. So he's at Georgia Tech, right? You must be proud as a parent, man, to go and see your son who you love and spend a lot of time with, and then him, having the passion. Where did you see like he started to really take it serious? At what age?
Oh, he was so serious about the game from day one.
Okay.
I never forced either one of them, Carter or Carson, to play. But Carson forced me to force him to play. You know what I mean? He was like full uniform at 3 years old.
Wow.
Indians uniform. When we came to the Yankees, every single day he came to the game, he'd be in full uniform. In the locker room every day, in the parade, after we celebrate, after we won, he was in the celebration. So he's always, his whole life, been a baseball player. I've tried to steer him away. I had to play football. I had to play basketball. But that's his passion. He's a baseball player. And it's a lot of fun to be able to, like, kind of just hang out with him now. I missed a lot of his life, growing up, because I was at the field and doing my thing. So a lot of the time that we spent together was at the field, was at the park. And he kind of grew up in a big league clubhouse. So to now, for me, be able to, watch his career and, follow him. And, this summer he played in the NECBL up in Martha's Vineyard. He won the MVP of the league. So, it's fun to be – I don't, like, coach him. Like, he's so mature. He's so much like his mom and so put together that there's really not much for me to say to him other than just to be his homie and guide him if he needs it and really just enjoy what he's doing. Like, being able to go to Martha's Vineyard and hang out, obviously it's a beautiful place, but to like watch my son hit homers and shit,
that's crazy.
That must be surreal.
I'm getting chills right now. It's like incredible to be able to see him on his journey and like him, like his body is starting to pay off in what his mind wants to do.
Right.
Like he thinks he's Aaron Judge, you know what I mean? But now his body is paying off where he can start hitting balls like Aaron Judge. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, we all, when he comes over from home, from like the off season of school, he works out with us when we go to the gym.
Yeah.
So once he started getting bigger than me, you know what I mean? Couldn't call him Lil C no more. And then he was out lifting us already.
That's gonna be Carter in a couple years too.
Yeah, but God bless, man, because I seen him grow from a boy to a man. I love that. It just makes me feel like I'm proud of him.
Me?
How old are your kids?
My kids, I have a 20-year-old, 18-year-old daughter that just turned 18 yesterday.
Oh.
15-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. So 2 and 2.
Kids are surreal.
Yeah.
Like people are like asking me like, "Oh, are you like ready to have kids and stuff?" I'm like, absolutely not. But I love seeing everybody else's kids do beautiful things.
Yeah.
So that must be very surreal seeing them without even much pushing or coaxing in that direction, to see them kind of want to follow after your footsteps in some ways, or maybe even do things that you did a certain way and do it, quote unquote,
better. Yeah, no, I mean it's great. Like you said, like that's perfect because I see them do things that I did, but way better. You know, like
maybe miss some hiccups along the way.
Yeah,
well.
just I mean, and that's what it's supposed to be, right? Like me and my wife are supposed to have, try to raise the kids to be better than we were. But it's fun to be able to. It's hard. I mean, obviously, we started having kids 20 years ago. Shit, I was 23 years old, my wife was 22, so it was extremely hard. But now to be able to like go on vacation with them and hang out, like it's a vibe. It's fun. Like my 15-year-old daughter is a lot of fun to hang out with. Saya. Like I just love hanging out. We're never all together anymore, like all 6 of us, because my son's in college and different shit's going on. People are all over the place. My girls dance. So their schedules are crazy. So, but when we're all together and just us 6, like it's so much fun and it's just a vibe. So it's cool to be able to have that little unit, and it's just us in our own little world. We can go wherever. We can be wherever. As long as it's us 6, we're going to have fun.
All right, one thing that we always had a debate on, you being from Vallejo, California, and me being from the Bronx, New York, was our hip-hop story. Right? We'd always used to laugh about when you used to play those West Coast albums. You don't know nothing about this. And I had worked for Jive at that time, and ironically, I knew Mac Dre and Spice One and all them. And all those, what was the other one? JT the Bigger Figure.
JT the Bigger Figure was big.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because I was from New York and you were from Vallejo, from Bronx, like from Vallejo and from the Bronx. What's crazy is that music was real important to me, right? It was something that I think brought us together and become friends. Because obviously I worked at Def Jam while you were still playing, and it drew us to each other. But who are some of your favorite artists from your area?
Oh, man, Mac Dre is obviously the GOAT to me because the stuff he rapped about, like I was living. The streets he rapped about, I'm riding my bike down those streets. Like, I can go to the corner store and see him and, the Romper Room and all them guys. So he is the GOAT to me. He's number 1. Actually, number 2 for me is Biggie.
Really?
How, me being a fat kid growing up, like, I love fat rappers, like people I can, like, relate to. So Biggie was my guy. Heavy D was my guy.
Heavy D.
But, like, when Biggie first came out, I was a teenager.
Right.
So, like, I'm, a freshman in high school, and, like, Biggie comes out rapping about being big and fly. That's my guy. You know what I mean? So
one of the things you used to do is I hear when you used to come on the road to New York, you used to come and get all the popular mixtapes.
Yeah,
right?
my guy Skip.
That's
so
right.
My guy Michael Palmer was the first person I met when I got to the big leagues. I got called up to the big leagues at my first game was at Yankee Stadium. He's the first person I meet, and that was back in the day. It was no fucking iTunes, none of that shit. So it was all DJ Clue mixtapes, and you trying to find.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because Skippy's from the Bronx, man.
Yeah.
So all the Bronx guys know real hip hop.
I can't argue that. I can't argue that. But like every time I had to go to Dr. J's, and I had to go fucking get me some mixtapes every single time I came in.
And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Dope. It's so cool because when I had gotten a job, like I always liked West Coast music because, it's so weird. Like, it's like not being happy with what you have, right? Like all athletes want to be rappers, rappers want to be athletes, more in basketball.
No, that's everywhere.
But the funny thing is just like we were so intrigued by watching the West Coast life from a New York perspective, like watching those old movies. You know what I mean?
And the Bay Area is completely different from anything else on the West Coast. Like our sound is different. We dress different. We talk different. Like a lot of us from the Bay Area are from the South. Like our roots are from the South. Our grandparents came from, Louisiana, Mississippi, all these different places to help build the bridges out in the Bay Area. So all of our stuff is like really rooted deep, like South. So like Boosie is big in the Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like Jeezy's big in the Bay.
Yeah.
Like we embrace a lot of down South more so than like West Coast rappers. So I'll listen to somebody from the South. Like, Jeezy's my guy more so than, I hate to say this, more so than Snoop.
Right.
But the LA and the Bay is two different states, basically.
That's true, yeah.
So it's weird.
I noticed that whenever you run into somebody who's from the Bay like you are, then y'all start dancing and talking.
It's a
y'all
whole
got your own
thing.
language and shit.
It's a whole thing.
It's
man.
a lot. To me, cities like that are like Baltimore.
Yeah.
Right. They're like
Yep.
the little cities around.
Detroit is like that.
Detroit is like that.
Yep.
Yeah, where they have
a lot of the Bay and a lot of Vallejo in Detroit is connected.
Yeah.
Like E40 does a lot of business in Detroit and
right.
you know, and goes out there. A lot of people that I know from Vallejo go to
Because
go
also
out
in
to
Detroit,
Detroit.
a lot of, maybe in a similar way, a lot of people, black people in particular, that got to Detroit are also in some way or another from the South. Mississippi, Louisiana. My dad's from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people coming from Alabama and stuff like that when they were working in the auto industry. So a lot of that music and all of that influence from Motown and hip hop and everything, it just commingles.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
So, but like, as far as East Coast though, like I never listened to Wu-Tang.
Really?
Never listened to Wu-Tang. I wasn't like a big Nas guy.
Really?
Nah.
Biggie, Jay-Z.
Biggie, Jay-Z.
You like me. That's why we fell in love with each other quick. We
Jeezy.
like cocaine rap.
And then Pop is
That's our problem. That's what we call
I
cocaine
need motherfuckers
rap.
killing people and shit.
Shooting, robbing, selling bricks on
Sebo, the ball head that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, nah, it's So I mean, my range of music is kind of weird, but I did listen to a lot of East Coast rap growing up, which is ironic, but it's because I was from the Bay Area.
From the Bay.
I always find it interesting, like, where music and sports kind of like intersect.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe to some degree how that's happened for you, if it's like inspired your style, if it's inspired like how you view the game and drive, like what, or
Man,
maybe
I
you just
get-
listen to it before you go out.
No, I think I guess anybody like us that grew up in the culture, hip hop has inspired our whole life, right? Like it's everything we do is inspired by the music. I'm just like I said, I mean, the stuff Mac Dre was rapping about, I was doing in the streets as a kid. The big timers in the 2000s, like I said, when I got paid, the big rims and all that shit, like I'm living that shit that they rapping, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I think that our lives mimic the music, or the music mimics our lives, you know what I'm saying? Especially, that's why, you know, we fall in love with the drug dealing, you know what I'm saying, the Jeezy or whoever else, because that's what we know.
That's what we know. Yeah.
If you're not an athlete growing up in the hood, you're probably gonna be trying to make money. You're gonna be doing something illegal. That's
because
sucks,
those are the
but
only things
it's
that are
the
available.
truth. Yeah,
Or that's who we love and glamorize as kids, right? Those are the guys who had the money.
and that's why the music mimics our life, or vice versa.
We are excited to announce that C4 Smart Energy is the official energy drink sponsor of the Connect the Dots podcast. It's harder than ever these days to stay focused with endless distractions and shorter attention spans. It can feel impossible to stop scrolling and actually get work done. Thankfully, C4 Smart Energy has reinvented the energy drink game with C4 Smart Energy, the only energy drink clinically proven to provide enhanced mental focus. C4 Smart Energy is formulated with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine from green coffee beans, plus potassium, niacin, vitamin B12 to help support well-being and help you feel your best, all while boosting metabolism and promoting fat burn. From your brain to your body, C4 Smart Energy is the energy drink that does it all and tastes amazing. C4 Smart Energy is available at Target, Amazon, and anywhere else you get energy drinks. Go grab a can and share on social media, tagging C4 Energy and the Connect the Dots podcast to show us how Smart Energy helps you stay focused wherever you are. C4 Smart Energy, stay focused.
So back, I think in 2011, maybe 14, 15, we shot a documentary on sneakerheads, on shoes.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty much fun. So we had this idea.
I'm hiding my feet on purpose.
We're gonna get
No
you hot out
judgment,
there.
it's
Don't
okay.
worry about it. We got a lot of shoes. So we got shoes out there for you. We're gonna hook you up, Kenny. But it's so crazy because when we did the documentary, I always knew C had a lot of shoes, right? And you know, going to his house, the house is so big, you don't really go up to people's bedrooms in the African American and Latino. You know, you go to the backyard, and you don't be really playing up in people's home in their bedrooms. So when we had shot the documentary, it was the first time that I had really been in C's bedroom to be like in his closet, that his wife, Amber, God bless her, spends most of the time taking care of and getting right. But Kenny, when I tell you, I've never seen so many fly Jordans ever in my entire life. I didn't know they existed,
If
some
you
of these
had
things.
to give an approximate number,
On pairs of shoes,
yeah.
probably over 3,000.
Oh my God.
But they're all Jordan, so that's why I don't call myself a sneakerhead, because I don't have anything other than Jordans.
But you like
But
like
3,000 shoes,
I
I
like
think
other
it's.
shoes, but I don't wear anything other than Jordans.
But I
wear
think when you
Jordans
have
every day.
3,000 shoes, you could probably call yourself
Yeah,
something.
The guy had one of the first ever like shoe deals with Jordan.
yeah. So I've been with
Jordan
Jordan since 2007.
Yeah.
So any sneaker that's came out since 2007 is like been through my closet.
Okay,
So
another
it's-
question though. If you had to list like okay, I'll make it easy. Top 3. What comes to mind first?
Man, you know what? Like whenever I go to shoes right now, it's Travis Scott's. Just low ones is what I pretty much wear every single day. Just different colors, but if it's like a go-to something, like anytime my wife is like, "Damn, you gonna wear those again?" I'm like, "Yeah." The brown ones, the blue ones, the green ones. Like he's got it dialed in right now.
Nah, Kenny, your boy got some joints. I was like, I never even knew they made these. I'm a sneakerhead. Like, come on, bro. And then I can't even sideswipe him for him because he's a 15. I'm a 13, 14, depending on if it's raining or not that day.
Yes. But it's so I don't consider myself a real sneakerhead just because I feel like it's cheating. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely cheating. 'Cause it doesn't matter whether or not there's so many other different like sneaker companies. Jordan has really run that line for a very long time, like 85%.
Oh man, it's a blessing just to be able to be a part of that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every couple of months, you get brand new Jordans. Like, I remember my very first pair of Jordans, like being 17, 16 years old. I was a junior in high school, and I begged my mom to get me the 12s.
Right.
It was the white and red ones, like with the little the thing over the toe.
Over the toe, yeah.
We went to Concord Mall. I'll never forget. I skipped school, went to Concord Mall, paid $145 for them, and I wore them in the basketball game that night.
You
like,
did?
Yeah,
So a lot of people don't know. Wait, is basketball or football was your first passion?
Well, football I was better at.
Okay.
Football I was way better at football than any other sport.
Okay.
Baseball was just easier for me to play.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like whenever like I get on the baseball field, it was just like, this is so natural.
Yeah.
Like, football had to work my ass off. I loved working at it because I knew I could be good at it.
Right.
But baseball was just like, damn, this is like so easy for me to do.
Right.
And it made me make that decision. But I was a better football player. And I played basketball all the way through. I played basketball because we had a really good team.
Okay.
I was like the shit talker, rebounder, like out there bruising people, like. But our basketball team was really good, and we played together for a long time.
Who were some of the guys you played in that went pro, like in basketball?
Brandon Armstrong was a first-round pick for the Nets.
Right.
I think in 2002, 3 maybe.
Uh-huh.
Our center was 7 foot. He played at Georgetown.
Okay.
Our 3 was 6'6". He played at Gonzaga.
Damn.
Our 2 was 6'5", and he was a cornerback at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And then our point guard was a 6 foot guy that went to Cal. And then I was the power forward.
At what height at that age?
I was the same height.
Damn.
I was this height. Yeah, I was this height at 17.
That's
16.
crazy. Wow.
So it was
Imagine
crazy.
having to go up against them big boys.
Yeah, we had 7-footer in high school. Crazy.
My God.
Bro, I didn't even know there was 7-footers in the 80s. Man, speaking of shoes, did you know these were the first shoes Michael Jordan ever wore?
Nah, I seen him coming in. That's why his feet always hurting. I feel like MJ and LeBron are the only 2 players that can play in their shoe.
In their shoe.
You know, like LeBron's shoe is so fucking heavy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's heavy.
He's the only guy that can play in his shoe. And like MJ, the same thing. Like,
Well, the good thing is I only did was rock their shoes. I didn't really play too much. I mean, even though I have 27 softball championships.
yeah.
Next week it turned 36, right? See?
If you had to make your own shoe, like design your own shoe right now, what do you think you would do?
It would probably be similar to this Jordan low top 1. It would probably be a low something. like Air Max style maybe. I don't know. I mean, it'd be a cross between an Air Max 95 and this Jordan 1. I don't know how that would look, but those are my two favorite shoes.
Design professionals.
If now CC's the one that got me now. If you see us most of the time, we got Crocs on.
Yeah. Crocs are Uggs.
Crocs are Uggs. The Leahy Crocs, right? When you got me in, I bought like every color.
I got every color.
I still get shit from Ronnie and everybody like, you're wearing Crocs? I'm like, yo, bro, this is the most comfortable shoes ever made.
I'm this close to being converted. I've been fighting the urge to get Crocs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I won't wear other shoes at some
won't.
point.
Oh, no, you won't. No, unless you got to go somewhere and get fly. You won't. Trust me when I tell you.
I feel like they should have fly Crocs. Crocs with a heel. They probably do.
They probably do. They probably do.
So
we wanted to talk about some wild New York stories, though.
Okay.
As the resident Detroiter who's only been to New York, short times, I wanted to know what is like just a day-to-day in New York. What is a wild story you have?
Man.
Overwhelmed with memories of?
Nah, it's not like, it's crazy because it's not like, it's just like our life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like crazy stories. It's just shit that happens. Like, you show up to a Knicks game and it's like Tracy Morgan is there and Dave Chappelle and like was it the playoff game we went to?
We went to the playoff game.
And we in the back and Dave Chappelle's telling stories and fucking Fat Joe. It's like, it's just like only that type of shit can happen in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those nights happen all the time, especially with Peck. He's America's guest. Like, this motherfucker, like, he knows everybody. Like,
most
he's
connected
literally,
man.
that should be the name of this podcast, America's guest. So he knows everyone and it connects everybody. So whenever you with him and you're out, you're going to have a New York night.
So the crazy thing about New York, he's right. Like, right, we can go during the day, go work out, right? And then go to the office. After that, we meet up, go to the game. So I'll like go to his office, Major League Baseball. He'll come to my office.
But even us going to work out, it could be like Dylan Betances there or Chapman or Action Bronson. Like, but it's just a normal day for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a.
And people would look at us like, what are you talking about? That's a normal day. Yeah. Like that. And he's right. We'll go to the Knicks game. Like he said, I didn't realize when we were leaving that game, all I did was say, hey, everybody turn around. And I got the picture. And I took a picture. And he's right. It was Fat Joe and Dave Chappelle talking shit to each other about a situation. Then it was you and I, the guy from The Wire.
Yeah.
And then Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba was there.
And it was just like all these
That's
stars.
an interesting.
It's New York, though.
New York.
Yeah.
And then you go to dinner, and you go to a back room or private room, and you run into just a bunch of more like New York stars, right? Or superstars. And then we'll just start having these conversations.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, I remember one night we were at Carbone's, and like, I'm looking around, and like the place is empty. All of a sudden, it's just our table, and then here comes Kanye and Kim.
Yeah.
Just walk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
just random shit like that.
Random
Like
shit.
that happens. Like, but I can't tell you just one story. You know what I'm saying? Like. That type of shit can happen tonight if we go to dinner or something. So
somebody will
crazy.
come in with an iPod, start playing music, and before you know it, you got like Kanye DJing, and this one is here and that
the
one
night
is
at Say Less.
Right. Yeah. Say Less. He played this whole album, and then 2 Chainz on was there. It's just wild. It's like New York is like that. Whatever world you're in, you'll see like the biggest superstars just mingling with people. To us, it's like regular shit, right?
I like how humanizing that is. Weirdly,
I know.
I think
And that's what I love about this place is that like I can walk down the street right now and people will see me and they know it's me, but they don't give a fuck. They got somewhere to go. They got shit to do
they
too.
got their own shit they do.
Yeah, like they're busy. Like
think
it's
I
fucking
like
New
that
York. You know what I'm
better.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't have time to fucking stop and take a picture. I say, CC, what's up? And that's what I love about it. Like everybody's doing their own thing.
I love
and
that energy.
You can find your own little lane in every in that world. So it's great.
Because I always wondered, like, when someone becomes like a traditional celebrity, like, where do they feel most comfortable? And what I mean by that is, like, in New York, for instance, people are used to seeing celebrities all the time. So I would imagine in some way that's very comforting, knowing that no one's going to necessarily be like, ah, at you. So, like, do you find that New York is different than, say, West Coast when you're out there? Or
Yeah, like I said, like people in New York won't freak out but being a Yankee, people everywhere else, like,
Yeah.
you know, like will stop you, or so I guess you feel most comfortable in the city that you're from, you know. And I'm not from here, but I've taken to the city, and the city has taken to me. So
one thing I can say though, like traveling and going a lot of places with C, he does get love on like a national level. Like people genuinely love him. Like, oh, right? They're like, yo, C, I miss you. Yo, baseball, like, yo, you're real. Even amongst like outside of Yankee fans. Funny story, me and C went to a playoff football game. And I'm a big Giants fan. He's a big Oakland Raiders fan. And the game was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
yeah,
I look like I got the whole Giants uniform on. And I don't know if you know about Philadelphia fans. They're no joke.
No
They're some
joke.
serious fans.
no joke.
And me and C, so, you know, and even with like the Phillies and Phillies and
Yankees,
Yankees, has it, right?
yeah.
Big rivalry. Man, when I tell you, we love to tailgate. We love to eat. I love to drink beers. C loves to just
I
chill.
love the tailgate. We
And
love tailgate.
right? It's like a pastime for us. We do it all the time. And the crazy thing about it is that we tailgated for almost 2.5, 3 hours
Yeah.
before the game in Philadelphia. So if you don't know, like if you're a Giants and Phillies fan, like this is forgotten, like, I mean, forbidden fruit. Like, don't do it. We did it. But, you know, C's big and I'm a big guy. But by the way, people were cursing at us and treating us, but nobody ever said one thing like F you effing Yankee or none of that.
No.
It was more about your man, the asshole with the whole
Giants.
Yeah, and I knew like I wasn't gonna wear like Eagle shit, but I wore a green fucking Gucci jacket.
Yeah,
So I'm not fucking with these people. I know, I already know, because I played in Philly. I know what how these people are. I'm not fucking around. I wore my green jacket, and he had on all this Giant shit, and people like they killed us.
Yo,
It's
but
crazy.
it went all the way from the fans, Kenny, that we were tailgating, up into the people who took the ticket.
The ticket
Like
lady.
the lady was like,
They took his
"It's
ticket.
not working.
You a
it's
bitch."
not
Like,
working."
you
It's not-
came in.
What happened? She goes, "It's not
He
working."
was like, man, you're going to make me miss kickoff. Like, I've never seen him, like, he was distraught. He was like, ma'am,
Yo.
can you please just leave me alone?
At every check-in, by the
Yeah,
way, too.
yeah.
And then they're like, well, your ticket works now, but you got the wrong colors on. Like, damn. Man, that was crazy.
Yes.
Want to see you sweat.
Yeah, they want to see that shit. So where you think Shohtani's going, see? What's going to happen, man?
Man, I honestly don't know. I think he's still going to get paid. Somebody's going to pay him. I don't know if it's going to be the Dodgers, Giants, Mets, whoever, maybe Yankees. But he had surgery. We sitting here on Thursday. He had surgery on Wednesday, September 21st. So, and he didn't have the full Tommy John. He just had the elbow brace, kind of. So it's not the same injury he had, a couple years ago. So I think he'll be able to come back and pitch and still make an impact. If it's me, I would, if I'm advising him, I would have him hit just all next year and, come back and pitch in 25. But it really depends on, like, what he values. You know what I mean? Like, if he thinks he can still pitch, I feel like San Francisco could be a good place for him because it's the big park.
Right.
If he feels like his pitching career may be at the back end, then he wouldn't want to go to San Francisco because it's not hitter friendly.
Hitter friendly,
You know, so he has decisions to make based on what he thinks his legacy is going to be best at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, those are all things that he has to weigh in on.
Yeah.
But if it's me, if I had to pick, I would say the Giants because their roster is perfect. They win 198, 95 to 100 games with basically no superstars.
Right.
So if you add him to that roster, he can DH for you, he can pitch for you, do whatever he needs to do, and it doesn't really disrupt your roster or your makeup or what you have going on.
In your, I guess, lifetime or professional lifetime, have you ever seen a player like that?
He's the best player to ever play baseball. It's not even like close. I hate that they compare him to Babe Ruth or whoever else because at that time it wasn't we weren't playing the game of baseball at that time. It was a whole separate league of really good, talented players that were playing at the same time as Babe Ruth was playing. So this guy is playing at the best at the time when the players are the best that they've ever been. They've thrown the hardest. They running. They hitting the ball as far as they've ever hit it, and he's the fucking best player. He's the best player to ever play baseball.
Wow, that's crazy. Big. I love him. I think the kid's amazing. I love to watch him play. I think he brings a whole different culture to baseball. You know what I mean? I love it. Showtime.
Showtime.
Okay, so we have cool clips. Particularly, we have somehow gone into the archives and found your high school.
Well, I ain't that old, so I mean, it probably ain't in HD, but like
it's like 360p. My eyes can't quite focus on it. So we have
Found
your
it
high
on VHS in between some old school porn tapes.
We have what's left that isn't taped over, and we have a clip of you doing a home run in high school. And we want to get your reaction to it.
All right.
Any thoughts? Maybe something that was going on
For
around
sure.
it. So, actually, can I read?
You need help?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, this is my sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore?
Bro, look how big I am now.
I know. I was like, wow. Oh.
So that was against this school. That's my cousin right there. He playing the big leagues.
Ooh.
Joe Thurston. And I remember I'm like, why you running so fast, bro? I hit that ball. 900 feet. Where you going?
Yo, see, look at you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
15 years old.
That's how Carson tries to be.
Right? That was against a
big.
big school in Sacramento called Elk Grove.
Oh, wow.
So that was a huge game. There was a lot of people at that game. That was my sophomore year.
Towering over them little kids, bro.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about like that team or like my high school team is that when I was 12, it was the same 9 guys. Like we played together from the time we were 12 all the way through high school.
Oh, wow.
So it was
man.
the same group of guys while we were so good.
Oh, that's so cool.
But yeah, that's my sophomore year, and yeah, my cousin Joe Thurston's running the bases.
Did some of you guys, did they play basketball with you too? Like y'all guys all played?
It was only me and another guy that played all 3 sports, but it was guys that played football and baseball,
Right.
basketball and football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was me and this guy Jerry Bolin that were the only 2 that played all 3.
You look like Danny Almonte when he was in the league.
That's a real thing, by the way. My mom used to travel with my birth certificate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when we were playing in the tournament, I think I was 9 years old. And some lady was at the concession stand talking about the big kid on the Vallejo team.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom overheard her
Oh.
and broke the lady's nose.
I know, yo, because mom don't play.
Broke
By the way,
the lady's
I
nose. She broke the
I got
lady's-
chills before you even said that, because I know mom don't play that.
She broke the lady's nose
Wow.
at in the line at the concession stand.
Listen to me. My hair is standing up because I know Cece's mom.
Yeah,
mom
my mom didn't play.
Even before
I mean, I could
he
already
said
tell
it.
by how she
Yeah.
took initiative over when you started playing professionally.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
you got to be scary a little bit.
Wow, that's crazy. Oof. All right. Yo, see, so we're gonna go through. I want to get your reaction about Jeter's last hit at Yankee Stadium to win the game. The crazy thing is, I think the game before this, I went with Sean Riley to the Yankee game where he hit the home run. So I figured like I saw Jeter that was it. Nothing was gonna be bigger than that. So obviously Juan and Jay and Kai's calling. They're like, yo, you want to come to the game? So I was with Karen having dinner and Sean Riley. So I was like, nah, man, I saw him hit his home run already. It's not going to get better than that. You know what I mean? So I turned him down. I said, at first I look at Karen. I'm like, do you mind if I go? She's like, really? You went yesterday? So it was like around her birthday or something like that. So I said, all right, I'm going to chill. So this is what happened, what I missed.
This is what you missed.
And let me see how you're feeling on that.
Yeah, nah, it was crazy. I was hurt all this year. So I got hurt in like beginning of May. I got hurt actually on Mother's Day. We were in Milwaukee, and that was the last game I pitched. So I was gone all summer. I hadn't been around. You know, he was doing his whole tour, and he was mad at me because I was the one that told him that he had to do the tour. Like, he didn't want to announce that he was going to retire.
Right.
I'm like, you have to fucking announce that you're going to retire so they can do like the whole tour.
The
And
tour,
you know,
yeah.
He was pissed. He was mad because it like took a lot out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this was a crazy moment. What's crazy about this is if he don't score, it's just me and Jeet out on the field because I had already as soon as he hit the ball, I had already jumped the fence.
Oh, you did?
Like I was the first person out there. So that's why I was the one that was the first one to give him a hug. But like, if Markakis throws out Antoine Richardson, it's just me and G standing on the field like, what the fuck happened? But that was crazy. I was fresh off a knee surgery. And I ran out there, and I came back in. The trainer was like, "Well, I guess you're feeling pretty good, huh?" I was like, I'm feeling pretty fucking good.
Man, that.
But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't end. If they did a movie about Derek Jeter's life and it ended like that, I'd be like, "Fuck this movie."
Right.
I'm not watching this shit. It ain't no way it ends like that. And it's fucking. That's fucking like Derek Jeter.
That's who he is, huh?
It's crazy.
Captain, man.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So. Our partner here is C4 Energy, and one of the things that we wanted to do is question like what brings you energy, what keeps you focused, both when you were on the field and now that you've retired and you're doing different endeavors now. So like, what is focus to you, and how do you keep it?
What kept me focused as a player was trying to win. I was literally singularly focused on fucking winning to the point where it'd be nights where, like, we would have scheduled to go out to dinner or whatever, and if I didn't pitch well, like, I'm not going. You know, like, or if, you know, the way that the season ended, if the season didn't end the way I thought it should end, I would be in the house for the whole offseason. You know what I mean? Like, so my focus was just on winning, not on the field. Now I feel like my focus and what gives me energy is my family. You know, trying to, you know, blaze a better path for them. Being around for them, you know, wanting to be healthier so I can live a fuller life, so I can, you know, watch my grandkids grow up. You know, my father passed away at 47 years old, so I want to be able to, you know, be here and be in my kids' life, you know, past that. So I think that's what gives me focus and energy right now is just my family and trying to be a better man for them.
Do you find that after you stopped playing that there was a tendency to want to do something more competitive, just wasn't sports, or something
No,
you feel that kind of
I'm done like being competitive. Like I was so like I would fight you to win. You know what I'm saying? Like I would literally fucking fight you to win. And I don't ever want to get back to that point anymore. Like when I get mad at golf, like I'll just fucking I'll be done. You know what I'm saying? Like I won't let golf get me that mad. Like I don't do anything that gets me to the level of where I was in competition when I pitched. So I'm like comped out because you got to think about it. Like when I started playing baseball when I was 4 years old. So anytime there was a big game, a big all-star game, big championship game or anything, I'm the one that's pitching the game from the time I'm 9 years old to the time I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a long time to be.
That's like identity.
That's yeah. And so I wouldn't let it be my identity though, you know? But it is who you are, which is crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to finish out with a quick segment. We're going to call it What's Your GOAT? We're going to ask, what is your greatest of all time of various topics? So
Cool.
speed run. Movie.
Let's start with basketball first.
Okay, basketball.
Michael Jordan.
All
Let's
right.
get that out the fucking way.
That's quick. That's easy. To
Check
the
that
point.
box over.
Let's get that out the fucking way right now.
Immediate. Movie.
Harlem Nights.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sneaker.
Jordan 1. No, Jordan 11. I'm sorry. Concord.
You pitched in those a lot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You loved it.
Rapper.
Mac Dre.
Okay. Baseball player.
Barry Bonds.
Okay. TV show.
Dang. The Wire.
Ooh,
The Wire.
good one,
The
see?
Wire is probably the best TV show of all time.
Now we got to find out because I had this experience the other day when we talked about it. Who was your all-time favorite player on the Oakland Raiders?
Barry. Bo Jackson is my all-time favorite athlete. I was a multi-sport athlete because of Bo Jackson. You know, being able to see him play baseball and football in the MLB and the NFL. I mean, I was a huge primetime fan, Deion Sanders, but Bo Jackson played for the Raiders, so he was more my guy. So I have a tattoo of Bo Jackson on my leg, too.
Oh, yeah.
But he was my favorite player, yeah.
It's on your outer leg, right? No, man.
It's in a safe spot.
All right, well, you're my GOAT. I appreciate you, my brother.
You.
I love you. Thank you for, being our first guest and for being my brother, for always being there for me.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks
Love.
for coming.
All right.
Of course. Thank you.
Awesome having you.
Good? Thank you.